All right, you all, you're late. Gather round, whoever's coming on the tour. Are we everybody? Is this everybody? Do you know where you're going? Do you know where you are? No, seriously, does somebody know where they are? Because I don't know where I am. Where are we? Can this tell us? Are we at the Newman Market? Alderney Gate. Okay, so this is named after the ship, the Alderney, which brought over my ancestors in 1750. They disembarked the ship, the 353 of them, on the east side of the harbor. That's here. They were ordered by Governor Cornwallis to do so, and they immediately started a settlement and called it Dartmouth. So before that, obviously there was some other contact from Europe to North America that happened in the 1500s. And then of course, 17,000 years ago is our earliest information about Mi'kmaq settlements. That's like 10 times the amount of years that we have been living here in Dartmouth. Do you know where you're going? Nobody told you where you're going? What? Okay. Well, I'm going to Geary Street Cemetery. Would you please accompany me? Yes, okay. Come right this way. We're gonna go through these doors. This railway must have been pretty recently put in. Now, if you were worried about the plague, you're welcome to take off your masks as long as you're keeping social distance. Watch these ships. Thank you. So the street that we just crossed is Alderney Street. I will refer to it in a moment. Now, Alderney Street was formerly called the Old Preston Road, and that's because the Prestons came as far down as Alderney Street at one time. And as you can tell now, they're pushed back significantly far past Dartmouth Westfall. But at one time, the Prestons were this far. My family was one of the families that made that possible. We bought up all the land. We have about 500 acres near Russell Lake. And the more white loyalist families did that, the further back the black loyalists and the Prestons were pushed back. As we approach Geary Street Cemetery, I'll tell you, Geary Street was opened in 1835, informally, and formally it was named Geary Street after the Reverend Dennis Geary in 1945. It was named after him because he was the one that initiated the cemetery and asked for land grant from the city so that they could, it was around the time of cholera, there was lots of people dying. Please watch your step here. St. Peter's Catholic Church Parish needed to find an alternative cemetery to bury all the dead.
Mr. Russell.
Hello, this is Ernie the gravedigger, and Ernie, this is our group of onlooker comrades who have joined us.
Hello, everybody.
Ernie will take you on the tour through the cemetery, which is best known for having a tomb with 13 descendants of the Dunn family, as well as an unmarked tomb of a person of Spanish nobility, Catherine Thompson. As well, there has been said to be many Indian graves here. I'll pass it to you, Ernie.
Hello, tourists. Welcome to the Geary Street Cemetery. We're better known as St. Paul's Cemetery. So, as Mr. Russell said, this burial place has a lot of history, and it's the resting place for people of various backgrounds, including Scottish, Irish, English, and Mi'kmaq. The term Indian shouldn't be used anymore because it isn't an accurate description of the native peoples of this land. Because after all, they're not from India, they're from Nova Scotia. So allow me to give you guys a bit more history about the settlers that first came here. So in 1848, Irish settlers came on ships to Dartmouth, Nova Scotia, and they brought a lot of disease and famine with them, such as cholera and various other illnesses. And many of the native peoples didn't have the immunity to fight off these new foreign diseases. So many people died, and many are buried within the cemetery, as they say. And yeah, if you follow me, ladies and gents, I will show you to the Dunn Vault, a very unique vault, unlike any other. Follow me, please, ladies and gents. But beneath your feet lies over 100 souls sucking away at your lifeline. And these people include fathers, daughters, murderers, traitors, grave robbers. Allow me to show you the first landmark on this tour. This is the Dunn Vault, and it is the resting place of over 13 Dunn family members. This vault was first built by Michael Dunn in the 1830s, and the graves are lined up side by side, coffin to coffin, 13 with equal amount coffins on each side. And a very notable person that was buried here was Colin Dunn. Colin passed away recently in 2019, and he was a very superstitious man. Colin had a lot to do with the number 13. So he was born on Friday the 13th, and he enlisted in the Naval Reserves on May the 13th. And when he passed away, he was in room 13 of the palliative care unit in Colchester. And he also had a wife who wasn't buried here, but who was cremated elsewhere. So her soul searches for her husband to this day. Her name is Elaine Boxall Dunn.
He let them burn me out! All my family has been laid here to rest peacefully, but they cremated me. They burned me up and brought my ashes to the Dunn family vault. Oh, Mother Florence, oh, Johnny James! I hope you can rest easily knowing that he burned your daughter to be no longer recognized.
Poor Miss Elaine. All right, folks, let's keep moving so she can keep looking for Colin. By the way, does anyone have any questions about the vault? Well, not quite, but we can see the entrance. So, as you can see, folks, this place has been sealed shut from the inside. Nothing gets in or out.
Ew, dairy. There's a lot inside.
Dead bodies.
Oh.
As you might be able to see, I'm ringing a bell right now. And there's not much significance in ringing a bell in modern times, but during the 1800s, bells were buried with the dead because technology wasn't advanced back then. And no one could really tell whether or not someone was really dead. So, the dead is always buried with a bell, just in case they wake up. There's a way for them to ring the bell so people in their community can rescue them. So, I would like to draw your attention to this plaque. So this plaque was created to commemorate the lives and the contribution of the Native and First Nations people here. So this plaque was erected by Anna Napeach Abbey. Anna Napeach Nips, yes. And this particular woman, she is of Mi'kmaq descent, and Napeach means leaf in Mi'kmaq. And the Mi'kmaq history here is very unclear, and that is because during those times, Mi'kmaqs were considered second-class citizens, and not much of their history was recorded or deemed significant. So many of their stories are unrecorded and lost forever. But we did what we could, and we created a plaque to celebrate their way of life, their way of, just living together as one with nature, and, just taking only what they needed from nature to thrive. And yeah, this plaque serves as a memorial for all the Mi'kmaq that lie in this graveyard. So this place is the resting place for a lot of modern people in the 20th century, for the most part. But I'd like to turn your attention over here to this bridge in the distance there. That's the Angus L. MacDonald Bridge. And I'm sure many of you have heard the folklore surrounding this bridge. And it goes as follows. So, The son of a Mi'kmaq chief had a wife who had an affair with a local English sailor. And the son of the chief found out, and he was enraged. So he pursued the sailor and his wife when they tried to elope, and he killed his wife by accident. And in a fit of rage, he chased after the sailor who was trying to get away by boat, and he dived into the water of the harbor right there, and the current was too strong, so he ended up passing away in those waters. So the chief, the Mi'kmaq chief, was enraged that his son is gone. So he placed a curse upon this bridge, upon this area, and said that no bridge shall stand to link the land between Halifax and Dartmouth. So 3 bridges were built in this place and 2 collapsed. So the first bridge was built in 1881, and it was deemed flimsy because it was made out of wood. And that bridge could not withstand a heavy snowstorm and ended up collapsing. So the people of Nova Scotia took notice and they built a sturdier second bridge. But this time, the bridge collapsed in broad daylight. So the premier of the city took this to heart and decided to invite the current Mi'kmaq chief at the time to lift the curse from the area. So a ceremony was performed and the curse was lifted. And this bridge, the Angus L. MacDonald Bridge, is still standing today. So as far as we know, there is no more curse. But if you walk on the bridge, you may feel a little swaying back and forth. So dare you cross that bridge? All right, folks, follow me to our next landmark. So there wasn't much historical records on exactly what this is, but we suspect this is a ceremonial circle made by the Mi'kmaq. So this was used for spiritual practice and, ceremonies, healing purposes, and celebration of life. And we suspect that this place serves as the resting place for the hundreds of Mi'kmaq and indigenous people that once lived here. But no one knows for sure because, again, there were no records kept. All right, on to our next landmark. During medieval times, most people only had one name, and that's their first name. And over time, it became really hard to keep track of everyone as the population grew. So all the Michaels and all the Sams and, all the Justins and so on and so forth became hard to keep track of. So surnames was invented, and usually is based upon your lineage, like Freeman, or it's based on your occupation, like Smith, or it's based on locale, like Churchill. But this particular woman, she's a very particular case. See, usually in those times, women had the last names of their husbands, but she had her own last name. Here lies Aguilla Maud Chapman Freeman.
This is holy ground. We're standing on holy ground. For the Lord is here, and where he is holy. Holy ground. We're standing on holy ground. For the Lord is here, and where he is holy. Everyone is always puzzled by the encryption here on my tombstone. Well, I can understand why they're puzzled, as they spelled my name wrong. My name! A person's name is everything. Although, if I truly believed that, perhaps when I married Sir Winston Churchill, that's right, I would have taken his name. Oh, a darling man indeed, my Winston. Oh, now he was not the famous Winston Churchill that you're all thinking of. Not the one who was Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. No. Not the one who was known for his victories in World War II. No, my Winston. He was born in Sable River, Shelburne County, Yes, he was. And he went into the hereafter before me. I'll always be puzzled why they buried me here and Winston elsewhere. Winston's greatest achievement was his family. Family. You see, he called me Maud, my middle name. So there you have it. The symbol is an M and a W together, representing our lineage, our family. Family? For heaven's sake, that's what it's all about, isn't it? Holy ground.
Thank you, Aguila. I'm sure everybody wants to know what that encryption says.
Holy ground, for the Lord is here, and where he is home.
Don't mind her, folks. She does this every night. Now, if you would just follow me here, we're going to arrive at our last landmark. Please watch your step. There's many tombstones here. So this plaque commemorates when this entire cemetery was consecrated. So it was consecrated by Bishop Walsh in 1845. And it contains the grave of Waterloo veterans, people that battled in the Napoleonic Wars and escaped from Belgium and came here. And of course, hundreds of Indians and 2 of their chiefs, but we can't use the term Indians anymore, and we should use the term Aboriginals. And an aunt of Princess Eugenie. So this refers to Catherine Thompson, and Princess Eugenie was the wife of Napoleon III. And of course, ancestors of many Dartmouth families, including the Dunn family, which lies in the Dunn Vault. So, this concludes my tour, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you enjoyed. And Mrs. Lawson, she is going to escort you folks back to Alderney. But yeah, before we do that, I'd like to bid you guys farewell. And I'll be seeing you again, eventually. You all come back here.
Evening all, I'm Miss Lawson. Don't pay no mind to Ernie. When you've been putting people in their graves for half your life, you tend to go a little cuckoo. Anyways, this used to be a prosperous area at one point in time. Believe you me, I know. Follow me, y'all. Yes, this used to be a very prosperous area. My father, he was so proud of me, so proud. Because I was one of the first females to send a publication and to publish my own poetry in the local newspapers. Oh, don't mind that. I think she must have tripped and fell. Yes. What was I saying again? Oh yes, that's what I was saying. Yes, my father, he was a proud man of me. That was it. My own publishing bookstore. As I had that publishing bookstore, it made him so proud. Because while other females were tending house, I had my own bookstore. But I do recall way back when my grandfather, he tried to really build his own garage. And you know what the HRM did? They tried to stop him. Yep. They tried to stop him because they thought he was going to interfere into their construction, which it pretty much placed everybody in a rut, trying to push out every resident one by one. Poor residents. Oh, well, also, oh, just wait, honey, just wait, sweetheart, just wait. I'm sorry about that, darling. but it pushed what was that called? Oh yeah, Preston Township. It pushed it back far. Yep. Far back as, oh my gosh. What is that place called? Oh, that place. What's it called? Oh yes, that is it. It's called Cole Harbor. Yeah, it pushed it back that far. It was even on Alderney Street. But you know what else? The Preston Township has been around for decades and decades, and even people's lands, the townspeople, their lands, it's been passed down from family to family. Yep. And where it was passed down to family, it led to Halifax municipality to buy up acres from people, steal their land, steal all their land. And you know what else? The townspeople, they wanted to build their own church. Oh, what was that church called? Oh yeah, St. John's Parish. That's what it was called. St. John's Parish. I remember now. The townspeople petitioned that so they could get a grant. That's what y'all call it now, right? A grant? Okay, so a grant. And in that church, it held people from Dartmouth and Preston and even Lawrencetown. They even had a declaration. And the declaration was written, oh, y'all stop right now, stop, come back, come over here so you can hear the declaration. Oh yes, it was written, and so was the word. And it went a little something like this. We, the underlying freeholders and inhabitants of the township of Dartmouth, upon considering the need of providing a place for burial for the congregation attached to the Roman Catholic chapel, the embarrassments that may result in burying in the ground. Oh my God, this is so long. Blah, 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 blah. Legislation was secured in 1835 and a new cemetery was built on Geary Street. The first encroachment on the Dartmouth Commons. Now y'all, can you tell me something right now? Do y'all have any questions? Any questions whatsoever? That church is still standing. It is still standing. It's right around here. You know, on that street. Oh, what is it called? Oh, it's like I lost my memory or something. I don't know, darling. But I do know my history, and some bits of it I remember, and some of it I don't. It's kind of weird, eh? Yeah. The tour is coming to a closing. I hope y'all enjoyed yourself because I guess we're the deputy, he signed the declaration form on a yellow piece of paper, as you can see. And I guess that might have made it legal for him to take over people's land and just scurry away the people, the townspeople anyway. What a shame. That was such a shame. Oh yeah, I have one more thing. Do y'all have any questions? None? Okay.
I have a question.
Oh, sure, babe.
Can you tell us some poetry?
Poetry. Well, let's see. Let me think of one of my poetry. Roses are red and violets are blue. Honey, you see the night? And the sky used to be blue. That was one of the best poetry scripts I ever written, and that's why my daddy, he was so proud of me. But I hope you did enjoy the tour, because you'll never be the same as once you arrived. By the way, my name is Miss Lawson. Miss Lawson is what they call me. Okay, well that concludes the tour. I'm glad y'all enjoyed it. See you next lifetime. Bye-bye. Toodles.